Cool. So I guess that unlocked a new area, as some things sometimes will. Alright, let's try Ruse of an Ooze. Goopy Legrand. Just everything about the aesthetic. The forest was... Oh shit. Nice. So the forest was kind of cute, but it didn't make as good use of the animation and art as this set piece does. Like, characters are the really big strength here. So, like, having them be repeated again and again in the forest platforming context, while it was cool. So I think when he does that, I've actually got to, like, get underneath him. What? Question marks? Why is he big now? Oh. Oh. Handsome slime bringing pain, one bounce at a time.
Good day for us. Well done. It's on.
Oh. So if I go Sandria... No, that wasn't enough. I wonder if I can, like, move past his stalk thing. Aye. When he bounces off the edges there, it kind of gets me. Well, I can certainly stand far enough away that I don't get hit by him. Quite tough. Oh my god, they got multiple little caption line things. This is cool. Like, kind of quick engagements and deaths. Although I don't know how long it'll take to actually kill him, particularly with my damage down charm thing on. I wonder if that was like a beginner's mistake. I do not know how I was to avoid getting hit there. By being far away is one way to do it. Oh! Let's see if you can... Yeah, that's still throwing me. The bounces went at the edge. Wallop. If he jumps from the center towards you, then sure, go past him. But if he's at the edge and jumps towards the edge... Oh! By the time he wasn't actually close to the edge for that to be true. Aye, aye, aye. That time he was. So that's the point when he bounces. Whoa, okay, I've forgotten what he does at this point. Except that it's something I don't like. Oh right, he just continues. So should I have run towards him then? So I could have gone under? I guess so. Look at Cuphead pulling up his pants there. He's like, alright, time to get serious. Even though I've got a cup on my head. But I mean, at least I'm not a slime, right? So, yeah, it's possible to be less serious. Could I have avoided that at all? I don't know yet. Oh, so he actually moves at the same speed as you do, so if you're going the wrong direction, you will not avoid his bounces. So this is where he gets big. Then I got to get over here. Now he's going to bounce bigly. Oh yeah, those are some large bouncings. I died. But I feel like I got a little further that time. Let's try it again.
Good day for us.
Oh man.
You're up.
I kind of had the idea when starting to record this game that what I might do is sort of... I was hoping I wouldn't die very much, and I was thinking, oh, what I'll do is I'll record my successful run of each level or whatever. But now I'm starting to see that might not be practical. I suspect the majority of the content, if you will... Oh dear. Okay, let's try that again. I suspect the majority of it is going to be failures, but rapid failures from which you can learn, move on, and retry, and so on. I do not know whether or not that fits the 30s cartoon aesthetic, but it certainly is an aesthetic. No. Again, 2 hits early on, just bad.
Here goes.
I don't think that I regret the heart ultimately. I'm not sure how much less damage I'm doing. It might even be as low as like half damage, but that extra buffer is effective psychologically and so on. Actually, you know what? I picked up some coins from the forest, didn't I? And I simply haven't spent them at all. Get big, yo. Hey. Wow. He sure is large when he's big. I mean, you would be, wouldn't you? It's kind of the point of being big, is size. Oh no. I could not have avoided that. Hey. Dang. I will spend some coins because it just seems silly not to, but I don't know if I expect it to make a difference given precedent here. So what else is on offer? A bit different special, I guess. Invisible dash. See, that could be good. But it's probably mutually exclusive or something. Automatic parry. Jumbo rebound. I'm not really good enough to make use of better special moves yet. Let's get the smoke bomb. Goodbye. Jesus, that guy. So, can I have... Is that like a heart or smoke bomb thing? It is. Well, let's try it out. Interesting that... oh no, hang on, I've already done that one. Interesting that one of them... Oh, hello, what? Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Rusavanus. I noticed there is a simple difficulty setting, to which I have not yet resorted. We'll see. Ah. Well, you've only got 3 hit points. I misjudged that one. And that one. I do need to get a sense of how much damage I'm dealing and taking with my current charm, so... Oh, that worked. I dashed right through him. Did you see that? That was cool. What a good ability to have. Yeah, that's good. I like it. Wow. Longer range than I expected. Should have been dashing or something. Dang. So the lack of a hit point versus the incredible power of dashing. No.
A brawl is surely brewing. You're up.
I wonder. I'm enjoying the game a lot and it definitely seems good. So I'm not frustrated per se. What I am is slightly worried. This might not be compelling television. I don't know. Well, feedback would be welcome, I guess. Kind of depends. Do you like sort of seeing someone try to do something even if they do not do the thing? Oh, longer range.
Good day for a well battle. And begin.
Man, remember when people used to think boxing was acceptable? Oh, I should have dashed past him to avoid that situation. Maybe I should be focusing on avoiding damage rather than on dishing it out. No, I think you kind of definitively need to do both of those things.
Good day for a well battle. It's on.
Like, avoiding damage is Dealing damage avoids damage. That's how it works. Ah. I just don't want to take a hit right off the bat. Like that. You really cannot let any part of your hitbox contact any part of the enemy hitbox. That's a no. Just don't do that thing. Understandable, like it sounds bad. Ah! Right. Nah, I can't dash that far.
Good day for us. Well done. And begin.
I may even go back to heart at some point. My damage doesn't seem that better, much better with it off. Better, yes. I wonder if the safe way to play it when you're not very used to the game is to spend a lot of time avoiding damage and deal it when you can. Like, should I really be focusing on not getting hit? That would make sense given I've got, 3 hit points total. Like, there's a kind of logic to it. I can certainly do a bunch of hitting at that point. I mean, it's definitely making everything take longer here. My focusing on not getting hit, I mean. Oi, I didn't realize he wasn't actually jumping. Too big to dash.
This match will get red hot.
Still, I'm gonna attempt to continue my my don't get hit plan here. Music's really good still. Ah, I dashed the wrong way out of broken instinct and not having super learned the controls yet. I took a needless hit because I was trying to avoid damage. I mean, I guess the key word there is trying, I was not successfully avoiding damage. Just because you plan to do something doesn't mean you will carry it out. Okay, so here you really have to go under him. He's big. Large slime. Immense volume. Oh shit. Could I have even avoided that at all? I don't know. By being on the other side of him, I could have done it. Man, I feel like I'm getting close. Like, his big form there is probably...
A brawl is surely brewing.
I don't know what, if anything comes after that or not. I mean, I have to say... Well, no, I don't have to say it. I've actually opted out of saying that at all. Oh, I should let him bounce. Oi, once again. Should let that thing happen, like I said. Oh yeah! Wow, 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 wow.
This match will get red hot. Here goes.
I'm glad he takes his cap off too. It's just, it's
This
just
match
polite.
will get red hot. You're up.
I really love the expression on his face after he gets big. He's like, oh yeah, check this out. Oh shit, I checked it out. And then I nearly checked out entirely. Yeah, wow. I got trapped on the wrong side of him there. I wonder if he always does his big punches from one side of the screen.
Red hot. You're up. Good day for us. Well done. And begin.
I wonder what the game is like in co-op. Like, does everything have twice as many hit
Brawl is
points?
surely brewing. And begin.
Oi.
Good day for us. Well done. Now go.
I'm okay with, like, this is hard, you'll try it several times. But,
Here's a real high-class battle.
I would be more okay with it if it was, like, almost instant get back in. Didn't move back far enough.
Here's a
It
real
was far in to be restarting, wasn't it? But I felt like that run was over. I don't know. Oh, I guess if I'd stood further back I would have been okay there. Oh shit. I dashed though. Ah. Hey, I had a cool dodge there at least.
A great
Six
plan
slam.
and stuff. And begin.
Oh no.
Good day for us. Well done. It's on.
Sometimes in this sort of game, the advice for this situation would be that you shouldn't beat your head against a wall indefinitely and should instead go and do something else, like a different part of the game. But I don't know. I don't feel like this is not something I can't beat. It is just something I haven't beaten. I'm not really making much use of my directional shooting here. I could definitely be doing that better. But I am doing pretty good dodging, I think. Oh man. He's so big. just excessively sized. Gosh, imagine being that large. I can't, personally. But I'm no slime. Misjudged.
This match will get red hot. You're up.
Indeed, the match will get red hot. Good call. Who is that announcer, I wonder? Like, why is there one of those? Nah.
A great slam and then some. And begin.
Maybe it's one of the devil's people from the casino. Like, they could be sort of watching this whole thing. It could be entertainment as well as debt collection. It's pretty entertaining to be doing it, so possibly watching it is more fun as you don't have to get beaten up. Oi. Oh shit. Oh, you can get under his glove. That's interesting. I hadn't considered that before, but if you're right up next to him, does he... No, I think the punch would hit you, but what happens is, if you get through the boxing glove using a dash, for example, the arm doesn't hurt you. His arm is just like this thin thing. Almost disastrous. That was disastrous, in fact. That was bad. The bounce off. I am regressing.
A brawl is surely brewing. Now go.
Unfortunately, at some point, I will hit the kind of limit of how much I can sort of learn in one session and have to go and do something else after all.
A brawl
I would definitely,
Now go.
there is the option of making things simple, that is, keeping the game easy to play such that it's, like, more watchable. I don't know. Do I really want to do a let's play on easy mode? I've got no kind of moral qualms about it. It'd be nice if I didn't need to. But let's face it, games have difficulty settings for a reason, and I am not the person at whom the highest difficulty settings are aimed. Although, I mean, some of the best games, of course, do not have difficulty settings. And generally, it can lead to some odd design, less of a sense of accomplishment, various problems, I don't know. Stupid mistake, but it's just so easy to make. What I should do is avoid putting myself in the situation to make it by staying closer to the center of the screen. Except when that's happening. Definitely. Ah, that was tough. I thought that might have been the run. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try this on simple to see what kind of difference it makes. I haven't made any firm decisions yet, but basically, let's see what the distinction is between simplicity and regularity. I wonder if it's like about enemy hit points or their moves or multiple things. Probably should have restarted already. But I'm trying to discern the level of difficulty. Well, it's certainly not trivial.
Good day for a swell battle. And begin.
Yeah.
Good
Too early for this hit point.
swell battle. Here goes.
I wonder if the patterns are slightly different. Does he move more slowly? That could be actually throw me off, but once I get used to it, it will certainly make it easier if the enemy is slower. I'm not sure he is slower. I may have just been having a bad day. Obviously, a day is metaphorical here. It refers to like a 10-second session of combat or something. Like, you know, a day in the D&D sense of the word. A day and day. Aye, bad mistake. It's definitely a fun fight, as well as being more of a challenge than I expected. Oh no. Press the wrong button.
A brawl is surely brewing.
This doesn't seem particularly difficult. Different, I mean. It's, is it just slightly smaller hit points or something? I wonder. That, or I didn't actually select simple difficulty at all. I may have done it wrong. Who knows? That's like a cliche, though. It's bad writing, like being all, oh no, it's still too hard. I must. The game is broken. I made a mistake. I totally did. See, I keep trying to do my X move, and hitting the dash button instead, or occasionally vice versa. I'm just not too used to those two buttons yet. Like when I'm using one or the other, I tend to get it right, but when I'm alternating between them, not so much. And that's actually a pretty disastrous move because you waste damage, significant amounts, and you put yourself in like some place you weren't expecting to be, and use your dash, so it's like triple bad, that error. Don't commit that error. It's worth observing that for all the apparent difficulty I'm having with this enemy, he's, you know, hypothetically trivial. Like, if you stand in certain places, he just can't hit you. Those places are, of course, dynamic, like, they change, but... Ouch. Ouch. Yeah. 3 boxing gloves, 3 hits, 3 deaths. Okay. Shall I cut this here and say, wow, this is a cool game. It also actually is quite difficult. Maybe I'll try it again.
This match will get red hot.
Dun, dun. I can certainly verify that at least on this particular fight, you're not like missing out on some incredible extra challenge if you did pick simple rather than regular, because I'm honestly not discerning a difference at this point. If there is one, it must be something like slightly lower hit points. I don't know. Certainly nothing else. Which just does not make the kind of difference that it would if you had more hit points or something. I think, and for the sake of understanding and getting along with the game, I will look up at some point what exactly the different difficulty settings actually do. I mean, my guess is that I'll beat this at some point, like, successfully. I hope. And that I'll probably beat it on simple difficulty, and that will have been made in some ineffable way easier. Like, I fully accept that... my impending victory, if there is one... No, there isn't yet. Anyway, what I was saying, I fully accept that my impending victory will be cheapened and reduced by having been, you know, having resorted to the simple mode for simpletons and so on. But I cannot tell what it means. Yeah, I don't know. Slime guy here. I am pretty sure he's moving at the same rates, using the same abilities, and has the same hit points. And of course he deals the same damage. Everything deals wrong damage. So, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the game has a kind of, maybe it's smarter than I think. Maybe there is some sort of boss AI which, like, picks certain moves and so on. And maybe on simple difficulty, just, you know, pure speculation here, it picks easier ones and is nicer to you in certain circumstances. I don't know. I don't know if they would have gone that far. He's so pleased with himself after he does a big punch. He's very, very smug. Oh, man. I don't know how I avoided that. Is there a pattern here, like a certain number of bounces for a big punch? If there was, it would make it easier.
This match will get red hot.
Well, I'm still having fun. My worry is basically that people have basically stopped watching at this point. I mean, that's not disastrous if it happens. I could just, like, play Cuphead instead of, like, actually recording it. But I thought it would be fun to show off this game. It certainly looks very nice. But what's not particularly fun, or at least I imagine it not to be, since I don't really watch Let's Plays much myself, is watching a bunch of repetition and failure. Is that fun? It might be. Ah! Even though he's entering the second phase there, I feel like I was just... Here's my suspicion, by the way, about the game mechanics, the boss mechanics. I've got nothing really to back this up, but it would kind of make game design sense. My guess is that the two kind of phases of the fight have about equal hit points, right? That they are in fact triggered by reaching a damage threshold and, you know, having the capability to transform and so on via circumstances.
A great slam and that stuff.
Anyway, my guess is you have to do about the same amount of damage each time, because I feel like I've been consistently doing on runs where I get to the second stage, I've been consistently doing a bit less damage in the second stage than I had done in the first stage before I died. And the implication of that, if it's true, I'm kind of looking forward resignedly to it being true. One of the reasons I so firmly believe this, the implication would be that I had just missed out on beating the fight like a dozen times on both regular and simple modes. Not that I can tell what the modes do still. Of course, having relied so heavily on the dash here, I may have to keep it forever. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Once again, I mixed up the buttons there. But I'd taken no damage in tail phase, so I'll carry on. See, that was an experiment. I was trying to see if I could dash through him when he punches. Because if I could, that would be a pretty reliable way to evade it. But I can't.
A great slam and that stuff.
There are
You're up.
largish areas where it's safe to stand when he boxes. But those areas are unpredictable. Like, it's... What I mean by unpredictable is not unpredictable in the literal sense. This is fairly deterministic in any given moment, but they are highly circumstance dependent. The nature of bouncing in the arena and so on. It's... like, if I dodged left there, I probably would have gone through the glove and probably wouldn't have hit his body, but then I would have to act pretty quickly afterwards.
Here's a real high-class bout. And begin.
Real high-class bout. I kind of want to set it back to normal mode, regular, sorry, rather than simple. Because as far as I can tell, simple mode just isn't doing anything for me here. It's, you know, it's reducing my cred while not increasing my chances. I don't know. That, or I was in fact doing more poorly on normal than I remember, and I'm now doing slightly better or something. I don't know. I feel like simple hasn't affected it at all. Ah. Gosh, this has taken me quite a lot of attempts, hasn't it? At least you can just kind of retry it immediately. It's, that's something. There is one unfortunate aspect, though, which is that I'm actually running over time here. Like, I've only got so much recording time available, and at some point, I'll stop playing, even if I haven't actually beaten the boss. What an alarming situation. If that happens, I'll have to seriously reevaluate whether this game is good for Let's Playing. I mean, even if the game is good for it, I might not be good enough at it. Don't get me wrong, I'd still likely be playing the game no matter what, because it's fun and cool looking. But if I'm going to spend this long beating my head against bosses, this seems, I mean, presumably this is an early, easy enemy. If the Devil's Debtors are also alarming, well, the guy's alarming, he's cute, but, you know, also, if they all take so many attempts to beat, It just might not be very recordable. It is also possible that I'm missing some game mechanic I haven't noticed or thought of, which would make this sort of thing easier. I don't know. The main thing just seems to be execute, you know? You have to continually both dodge and accurately hit while not making many mistakes for quite a long time. That is actually something I'm particularly bad at in games. Alright, how many more tries should I give this? At least one.
A brawl is surely brewing. Here goes.
But I will admit to you that I am in a sense discouraged. That was stupid.
A great plan next up. You're up.
I'm not quite sure what the announcer says in that particular line. A great plan of action? A great something? Didn't realize. Well, I should have known he's going to bounce there.
Brawl is surely brewing. It's on.
Like, some of them were clear. A brawl is surely brewing, that one's clear. And then you've got the other one about, like, a magnificent bout and so on. But one of them I haven't heard clearly yet. Slime. It's slime time. Once you do the slime crime. I mean, that's basically what's going on with this guy, right? The devil owns his soul for whatever reason. You can't have won them all in games of cards. Sometimes I just like get far enough away that it feels like those are the lucky ones. If I kind of manage to guide him around the arena such that when he does the boxing glove move, he's out of range, then I'm fine. But I keep trying to kind of dodge away from it, which doesn't always work, basically. It's just not always valid. Dodging... That time I tried to dodge towards it, though, and you saw what happened, right? Like, I just kind of went too far. I don't know if there was... Where I was standing when he punched, I don't know if there was a spot... I think dodging in either direction would have killed me, basically. Can I jump over him?
Here's a real high-class bout. And begin.
Just kind of testing some jumps here. Because you don't go that high. He's quite...
A great plan. You're up.
When he's big, he's big. Like, I think I mentioned this earlier. The size of his largeness is huge. I don't think I'd be able to jump him, consequently. One thing I really like about this first phase, once you get really practiced at it, you don't really have to move much. You can just kind of rely on the... I mean, that was obviously hubris. But not just hubris, it's practice. Like, I deliberately am testing out this method of barely moving. When he's big, you have to move a bit. Not necessarily a lot, though. He really looks like some kind of fruit, doesn't he? I dodged through the glove by going through it to the right there, see? And that was great. I was like, oh, it actually worked, right? And then I kind of pressed the trigger to the left a little bit. And unfortunately, I walked back into the glove. Like, because I'm kind of playing on Twitch here. I just moved too much. Having dodged the attack, unfortunately, because it has a long duration, it was still going on. And so I hit it after dodging it. All I would have had to do at that point was wait for another second or two. That was not a good feeling. Nor was that, being caught in a spot where you kind of can't dodge. I don't know. Even though I've been enjoying it for most of the time, I feel like I'm starting to sour on the fight. Like, parts of it... There are many situations where it's just quite hard to avoid taking hits. If you take 3 hits, like the combination of 3 things. In certain situations, due partly to random patterns, it's just much harder to avoid taking a hit. If you make a mistake, you also take a hit. And there's a long time in the fight, so it's easy to make mistakes. And because there's a long time in the fight, the random situations also come up a lot. So it's just... I don't know. Just take that as the voice of someone who's just tried the same thing 20 times in a row and failed on every occasion. It's not, you know, a considered and cautious judgment from a wise oracle. It's a reaction. Let's call that a reaction video. Dull Banana reacts to Cuphead. My initial reaction was good, and still partly is. It's just that I have clearly become frustrated in some sense. I'm sure I'm experiencing a degree of frustration. Who knows what the degree might be. I think I'm gonna have to leave it, or I'll just kind of get tilted at some point if I haven't already. I'm doing about as well every single time is the problem. I feel like I've learned and improved and so on, but I've hit a ceiling here. I'm not actually giving up yet, I guess. Because it does... See, the game is fundamentally good and fun, and it looks good and it feels good. It makes you want to keep playing, right? They've got that feedback loop going. Like, each failure doesn't feel like a big failure. It feels like, oh yeah, get back in there, try it again, go for it. And that's really good. That's you know, good game design. But the fact that it's just got, I don't know, a high floor? I'm not sure if I'm quite using the right concept there. Even though it kind of feels quite good to fail on every individual occasion, the cumulative impact of failures is still... They are failures, you know? You need, at some point, successes. Oh, what? Okay, so that time, I dodged through the glove into his arm region. So, here's what I was going to say before. I had dodged through the glove into his arm region. I didn't move, right? I successfully kind of had learned the pattern. I stayed where I was, and then the glove retracted and it hit me on the backswing. I don't know, man. I hypothetical man, woman, whoever is listening to me here. I'm saying man in the sense of being like, you know, man, far out man. It's not meant to be gender specific. I don't know. It feels like there are some unfair elements to the fight. There may be the I have tried this 50 times in a row speaking. Well, let's make it 51.
Here's a real life stuff. It's on.
This sure will potentially be a long video. I wonder what to do here. Like, so... Die. So let's say I succeed on the 60th try or something, right? Because obviously I'm on about my 75th attempt at this point. So let's say after another 25, I succeed on the 150th try. Do I really post a video of me failing a boss fight 199 times and then succeeding on a 200th? It's I have no particular... I don't mind making people aware that a game was difficult or that I failed it repeatedly. That's fine. But it just seems, I don't know, like expecting someone to watch that. Well, I'm sure some people would enjoy it, actually. It would make for what is to me at least, a fairly uninteresting series of videos, particularly if it was to be repeated. And perhaps what I would want to do at that point is like change the premise of what I'm doing here so that in fact I do record a successful run. But that has problems of its own. One of them is that it's just kind of not how I operate. I don't know, I do live commentary, like exclusively live, and that's how I think and work, like stream of consciousness. I'm not I'd have to basically do post-commentary to do it that way. That's just not so good. Like, I don't think I would be particularly good at me doing post-commentary. I didn't even attempt to dodge it there. I was like, I'm trying to burn him down. See, I can't... Once he lashes out, it's just... Unless I'm far enough away, which, if he's in the middle of the screen, there's no way to be far enough away. Would I be able to reliably avoid it by dodging twice? There's still the idea of jump dodging. Leaves you in the air for a reasonable amount of time, right? Like, you know, like... That's about the length of an attack.
This match will get red hot. And
yeah, I don't know. I've been demoralized. My demorale is not very good. Oh no, my demorale is very, very good indeed. I'm just kind of starting to see logistic difficulties here. If I did very long recordings or something. I think I'm going to ponder. I mean, I pondered and I think I'm going to think now. I mean, I ponder, I'm going to think. I think I'm going to ponder. That's obviously not very... Let's consult the Elder Kettle. Wait, hang on. Hang on. Let's take that up to regular. Because simple is not doing things for me. And I've thought of something. I should have thought of this earlier, but I was distracted, perhaps by my side job at Polygon. You know, obviously that's where I work while I'm not running columns for Eurogamer. Because, okay, I kind of don't want to mention my theory because I will feel like I'm very stupid if it doesn't work. No, I might feel dumber if it does work, actually. Still though, this is like neat. I'm kind of making you keep watching here, but I promise you, I have had an idea. It's a really good idea, actually. Like... I should not have taken damage there, but you know what? It might not matter. That's how good my idea is. I honestly... I might be able to afford to take damage on the first phase. Which obviously was previously unthinkable. Watch this. Yes! It works! Oh my fucking god. Oh, that didn't work out so well. But, you know, the basic idea is sound. When someone Oh shit, he's dead. Wow, I won. Jesus fucking Christ. Rip. Whoa, what? What? What the fuck? How? Okay. Zoom, I guess. Grave Skull. I mean, Grave Slime. Sorry, I'm tired from problems happening to me. The 1,000 attempts at this boss, mainly. Ah, jeez. But I know what to do now. I'm very smashed. Even in grave situations. Okay, so bad news, there's a third phase, but I know also the reason there's a third phase, which is the second phase is actually really easy. Like, it's easier than even the first phase. I just kind of forgot about one of the abilities I had. Nobody would ever need to duck. It's not like it's the literal first move you learn in the start of the tutorial. It's, ducks don't even exist as an animal. It's possible that I've actually kind of screwed myself here by forgetting about it until my 2000th playthrough, because the problem I have now is that I'm tired, essentially. Like, you know, palm sweaty, mum spaghetti, that sort of thing on the controller and whatnot. And just basically I'm physically fatigued. Even though I can now kind of just reliably duck that almost every time, well, let's be quiet for a sec here. I'll alleviate fatigue by using concentration. So, basically I think I've got to use diagonal shots here and dodging. I don't know, I can avoid it fairly easily if I'm not hurting him. If I just kind of run from left to right on the screen, it kind of gives me a good chance of dealing some damage over time. Yeah, I think at this rate I'll eventually get him. While being at a fairly low risk of taking damage, which is the main thing. Sure does have a lot of hit points. But yeah, the big boxing glove attack, the one which kept killing me, I was like, oh no, how can you reliably avoid this? Well, you use the reliably avoid attack button is how, like, there's a dedicated button for that. You press it. Whew. Is there a fourth phase? No? Okay. 2 minutes 40. That is a long fight. At least, it's long if you do it 10,000 times in a row. Brand new record. Nice. Okay, so I don't yet know how to evaluate what happened here. I made a mistake. An error. I did not... Goopy Legrand. Nice. Devil's Office. King of Dice appears to be countersigning these contracts. So, that's cool. Obviously I'm going to stop playing here. So, I mean, for now. So I will just, you know, exit the title here. But I do want to sum up my thoughts a little. Obviously it took me 50,000 tries to beat the same boss fight there, which... This song rules. Anyway. Which might be considered excessive, but... It would have been many, many fewer attempts if I had thought of a certain thing. It's basically I reached the necessary skill level to beat the fight moderately early on. I mean, I ultimately did beat it on regular rather than simple. I will probably keep playing on regular. I don't really like that you can have that experience. I don't like that you can fail to think of one little thing, because ducking, right, is not something I had done up until that point, and then have a bad experience as a consequence. But at the same time, it's exactly the same thing I was... I mean, not that I berated anyone personally, but hypothetically I was berating game journalists. Other game journalists, other than myself, obviously. No, I mean, I'm actually no longer a game journalist. As of today, I've been fired from all 5 of those jobs for beating this Cuphead boss, which disqualifies you from the position. But anyway, I was berating people for basically the famous tutorial video and so on. How can you not notice that one skill? And then I kind of did the same thing. So I have developed a degree of empathy with morons. Yeah, I feel more kindly towards morons than I did before I realized I was also a moron. Anyway, good game. It's quite hard. Not as hard as I was making it look earlier. I intend to play more of it in future. Sorry about the length of this video. If you watched all the way through, I am impressed.